Hello, everybody. Hope you are having a fantastic Saturday. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, there's been a full on media blitz to dampen the impact of the Xbox showcase now on the heels of an awesome show where lots of positivity was reigning supreme. Here we go. Doesn't last for long in Xbox land. As games media and many on social media in general are taking the time and effort to try and squander the hype, the positivity around the brand. Now, there are plenty of things to talk about for sure. There are ongoings at Xbox that need to be discussed, speculated upon. But why is everything painted in such a negative light? Is there a major double standard going on? There is. Xbox is in a paradoxical situation, everybody. And this has been this way for a long time. But we're gonna kind of dive into it. I got some stuff to say about what's been going on here. I haven't seen it honestly this strong in a long time. You know, I haven't seen it this strong. It started out the other day with a person who's been at Xbox for 10 days, Matthew Ball, doing an interview and talking. He was asked a question, and answered the question in the best way that he could, acknowledging that, as an analyst, he's only there, to give his thoughts on as an analyst, but not specifically speaking for Xbox. Made that clear before even answering this question. But talking about the industry as a whole and his thoughts on ways that cost can come down or become better, more options and stuff like that. And he was regarding, ads or ad-based services potentially, that would be more cost efficient as another avenue for people to access games. That was twisted into Xbox looking to put ads in games, which spread like wildfire around the games media community, and preempted, even on Jeff Grubb's show with his guest, to ask people to get tomatoes and throw them at Matthew Ball because they're sick of guys like that, apparently. Absolutely crazy energy out there. Not only that, you have all the talk. Asha's been transparent about a reset coming to the business, about them going to be making tough decisions ahead, stuff that we've already been discussing, stuff that they already said before Showcase. But then after Showcase, she puts out the whole Xbox Wire post to the employees and also shared it, in a way of being transparent that, there are things coming ahead. There are things happening that Xbox is not in a healthy spot, and there's going to be major restructuring. And she laid out the basically line items of reasons why and things that need to be addressed. Meanwhile, this has turned into Xbox dead again. Twisted into more misinformation, more negative plot lines, and all of this kind of stuff. Whereas, in general in the industry, these are a lot of things that have been happening and a lot of problems that many companies are facing right now, regarding changes happening even at some of the games media's beloved companies, which is not being discussed adequately enough because they're keeping it from you, as they always have. When PlayStation does things, they don't talk about it ahead of time. They just do, right? They just do. They just do the layoffs. They just do the closures, right? They don't talk about the health of their business. They don't talk about any of this stuff. Many have been asking Xbox to be more transparent, but when they are transparent, it takes away their ability to write the speculation. It takes away their ability to be the ones that put out that news. Xbox is doing it for them. So now what they have to do is look beyond and say how it's not going to work, how they can't succeed. And this is what's been happening over the last couple days. Let me give you some examples of the paradox and the double standard of games media. What they face is insurmountable, as people don't want to see them succeed. People want to see them fail. Because no matter what they do, they will not win in the eyes of these people. This is the Xbox paradox. They need to listen to their core. They're listening too much to their fans. They need to be more transparent. They need to stop talking. They need to be more competitive. They will fail by making games exclusive. They need great games. Gears cost too much to make. Game Pass is killing Xbox. Game Pass is subsidizing Xbox. They need to put their games on PlayStation. Xbox games aren't selling well on PlayStation. Xbox tells us they are going through a restructure. Xbox is in trouble. Xbox needs more independence from Microsoft. Microsoft considering spinning off Xbox into fully owned subsidiary. Xbox is in trouble. Anybody know Sony did this with PlayStation back in 2016? PlayStation to stop putting single-player games on PC, putting their console owners first. Xbox will put Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout on PlayStation. Here's why. Xbox dead, Xbox dead, Xbox dead, Xbox dead. Well, everybody, Xbox is alive and trying to compete, making difficult choices to become a better platform in business. Let's focus on that. Or does it not get you enough attention? Does it not get you enough clicks? Does it not get you enough engagement? The reality is many want to see Xbox fail as a platform and only become a third-party publisher. So they champion and want PlayStation to strengthen their platform and rally against any moves that Xbox makes. They don't want to feel the need to buy an Xbox. They want the games Xbox is making. They just don't want Xbox to exist. The sooner that they own that and stop lying to all of us, they will expose themselves for their bias. So they stay closeted, doing whatever they can with their anti-Xbox tweets, articles, opinion pieces, and rumors, meanwhile ignoring the realities of the entire industry, including their darling child, PlayStation. That's the reality of the situation that Xbox is in. That's the reality of games media. That's the reality of what we're seeing now. It's a paradox. No matter what they do, it's going to be painted in negative light. How do they win in that situation? BS Gamer says it himself as he comes in here wanting to talk about negative Xbox news. I need to change my battery in my mouse. Hold on, everybody. This is the downside of having a mouse that takes batteries, a wireless. Here we go. If they BS Gamer says if they just became a third party publisher, everybody would benefit. Where's that energy for PlayStation? Where's that energy for Nintendo? You're right, consumers would benefit in general for all of these platforms to become third parties, and then consumers can just decide to buy the devices on the merits of the devices themselves. 100%. They can decide to get buy into the ecosystem that they feel is offering them more value and better services. Absolutely. That would benefit consumers around the entire industry. However, that's not what the business is. That's not what PlayStation's doing. That's not what Nintendo's doing. Xbox is becoming more competitive again. They're trying to restore the faith that people have in the console and hardware business. Meanwhile, facing an uphill battle in the hardware space because of cost, because of constraints on availability of memory and RAM and storage. Um, However, people are only painting Xbox into this corner. You absolutely just are the voice of what I'm talking about, BS Gamer, and I do say your name fits it. It's bullshit. It is bullshit. Now, I would say that if the businesses of PlayStation not even putting games on PC and only putting games on their own console and all these other kind of things that people are championing out there, and you want PlayStation and you want Nintendo to be more competitive, well, competition is good at that point. Xbox being more competitive by their own hardware metrics and everything to grow that business is better for you because it puts more pressure on them to deliver more games at a better value, better services. But people don't care. They don't ask for that from PlayStation. They don't ask from that from Nintendo. They just scoop up the bullshit. They just scoop it up. They just completely shovel it under their mouths, swallow it whole, and say, "This is fan fucking tastic. We love it. Keep doing it." You want Xbox to fail. You want Xbox to cease to exist as a platform. You only want their games. And that's what they want too. That's what they want too. That's the reality of the situation. Instead of everybody focusing on what moves are they making that's going to strengthen Xbox, what moves are they making to put them in a better position, what moves are they going to be making to become a better brand, to have better products for their customers, to do all this kind of stuff. People choose to focus on why it won't succeed, how it's going to fail. And it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. If you're happy with your Magic Dancing Cube and you want that to be the face of the content that you consume, more power to you. I know you want Gears as well, and you don't want to have to play it on a Xbox. I understand you, but tough shit. If you want to play on a console, you're gonna play it on an Xbox. If you don't want to play it on a console, guess what? Xbox is giving you more access than anybody still. But they don't get praise for that. They don't get praise for being more pro consumer than Nintendo or PlayStation by having Xbox Play Anywhere, by allowing the games to be played on PC and console, by also putting their games in a subscription service that allows people to play games day and date, day one. Instead, people choose to focus on why that's not going to work. Flip your head around. Take your head out of the sand. You have access to those games more than any other platform is giving you. So praise the good, shit on the bad. If you're talking about better for consumers, I want to hear people criticize PlayStation for not putting their games on PC anymore. They're single player. No, that's not going to happen. That ain't going to happen. No, instead they'd rather say that Xbox should put their games on PlayStation because otherwise they're not going to work. Doesn't make sense. Let's get into some of the let's get into some of this chat here. Thank you all for being here. If you do like the content here on Fun Speculation, hey, make sure you hit the like button, sub to the channel, hit the notification bell, all that kind of stuff. Greatly appreciate you being here. Brett Bingham says Ghost of Yotei sold 4.8 million on PS5, but Forza Horizon 5 had 45 plus million players before it went to PS5. And Forza Horizon 6 has already had 6 million in sales plus 6 million more players with Xbox Game Pass. Who's really in trouble? You know, that goes into the whole anti Game Pass people as well, Brett. And anti, you know, like, hey, you got to put all the games on PlayStation, right? Like the whole Game Pass is killing Xbox thing was also started to become an Xbox fan thing, as well as Xbox fans were desiring exclusives so much they were offering up Game Pass day and date on a silver platter. Meanwhile, as the industry and even some fans were desperate start to push all that narrative, it comes out that hey, Game Pass is actually still, despite the people that left last year after the price hikes, still been the thing kind of helping carry the business, causing some of these journalists to eat their words. And that's not the first time that's happened. You know when it's happened? After every fucking financials report from Xbox and Microsoft, when they actually release the numbers for Game Pass. And it's hysterical. Like, it doesn't matter what they do or what they say. People ask for transparency and honesty so that way we can understand the moves that they're making. But then when they actually start to do it, knowing that these moves are coming and we're going to be talking about them, now it's too much. They shouldn't be talking about this stuff. Well, we can't have it both ways, folks. Either we want them to stay closeted with their problems and just do these moves behind the scenes and then them get overlooked like happens with PlayStation, or we want them to actually be transparent and tell us about these things and why they're going to be making these moves, and so we can understand them better. You can't have it both ways. It's almost like the games media didn't actually want transparency after all. It's almost like they just wanted them to pretend that everything was all peachy roses, sunshine, and rainbows, you know? But you know why? Because then they can't make shit up. Xbox is doing it for them. Xbox is already putting that shit out there. So now they have to focus on how none of it's going to matter, how none of it's going to work, how all of this stuff is for naught. Oh, it's just easy, cheap wins, says Tom Henderson. Like making Gears and Clockwork Revolution is considered cheap to Microsoft. That like that decision doesn't weigh heavily on them. Like that doesn't have a lot of weight behind it. Reinforcing Game Pass day one after all the trailers at the Xbox showcase, like that doesn't have meaning behind it. Like dropping the price of Game Pass didn't have a lot of weight and heavy decisions behind it. You can call it easy, cheap wins. Hey, we're working on exclusives again. Fine. But guess what? All those little things add up. It means more priority to the console fans. It means more priority to the fan base. And that's what they've been trying to restore. They've been clear about that. They've been reviving faith in the Xbox brand and in the hardware space. That's what they're trying to do. They've said it. The next 100 days, going to be a lot of changes, and some of them are going to be negative. I expect layoffs. I expect studio closures. I expect, um, like it's been reported, maybe some layoffs in the marketing side, maybe in some of the platform side as well, as they become more in house, as Asha Sharma has said in her letter about bringing more engineering um, culture back to the platform itself. And these guys can want Xbox to fail all they want. They're still a major player in the industry. Right now, they're still the number 2 gaming publisher in the world. They still have a platform that has a lot of players on it. They have a lot of players on PC, and they also have a lot of players in their mobile ecosystem because of things like Candy Crush and stuff like that. That's the reality. Now, most of all of us here are console gamers at heart, right? Some of us also play on PC, like me. Do we want them to be competitive in the space? Do we want to bring competition to PlayStation, Nintendo? Do we want Xbox to be strong? Do we want more? Do we want more platform and console attention? Do we want them to try and be strong in that category? Yeah. BS Gamer says you just said it. They're a massive publisher, bro. Guess who else is a massive publisher? PlayStation, you dumb fuck. So is Nintendo. They're all publishers. They're also Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox are also platform holders. They have ecosystems. They have hardware. They have devices. They have accessories. They're platform holders, man. Like I know it escapes you the realities of what the actual businesses are. There was a guy on Twitter that said PlayStation is only a console. PlayStation ain't only a console. PlayStation's a brand. They do lots of different things. Did you know that PlayStation also has PC games and mobile games? That they also make computer speakers and fucking computer monitors? Like, these people are so delusional that they think all these brands are only about one thing. Oh shit. You say, you guys say not to feed the trolls, but when they say stupid shit, it's BS Gamer 1982 says PlayStation business is third party first. Publishing isn't their number one breadwinner. Isn't that a shame for you? Don't you want them to be strong with their first party, or do you not give a shit anymore? Like, where is the request for great first party output and studios and games? Or did you give up? Now it's just like, hey, let's just let PlayStation only focus on third party and first party shit doesn't matter? Is that where the attention has gone to because of the lack of first party output the last few years? Hey, kudos to you, bro. Enjoy it. You're also losing a lot of third party exclusives. Why does it matter? Because we're fucking gamers and we want games, bro. You should want those studios to be cooking good games for you. That's what gaming's about. You don't want them to go to fucking waste. We don't want these studios to go to waste. Are you a gamer or do you just care about the success of a storefront? Like what are you? Like what do you care about? Do you care about the success of a storefront or do you care about the fucking games? So this guy wants basically he says he wants PlayStation to become Steam. Hey, go ahead, bro. I hope that works out for you. We can all root for that. Yeah, we can all root for that. Bob or Brett, I always say Bob when I see your name. Absolutely. Mike H says, "How does it feel, bro, to be an Xbox fan and always play the victim?" How does it feel to be you and always go on Xbox podcast chats and talk shit to Xbox gamers? Why aren't you in a PlayStation chat, bro? Oh yeah, because there's nothing to talk about because as BS Gamer said, their focus is on third party. Why would you care? We actually care about shit here. We care about the games here. We care about the studios here. We care about the first party games. We care about the franchises that our studios put out. We care about the ecosystem. We care about the fact of the value of what we get. We care about the hardware that we get to play on. We care about all that shit. That's why when people like you go into the chats and then say shit randomly trying to argue and talk shit on Twitter, it's just you're just going out there spreading bullshit constantly. So you say people trying to play victim, but there you are in the chat just saying shit for no reason. Why are you here? All you ever do is try and argue and debate over why Xbox is bad and the moves that they're making. Why aren't you focusing on what you actually love? Why actually what you like to play on? You're just like the games media. You're just like them. You and that BS gamer guy are just like those fuckers. You're the part of the problem. This is why they're in a paradoxical situation because people like you exist. Because people like you are out there spreading bullshit and all this stuff for no reason. If you don't like the brand, go away. Go away. Go play on what you like. Go play on what you like. Instead, you choose to talk about Xbox because that's all the PlayStation guys fucking do, including the games media. They want the games, but they don't. You know why? You said it because PlayStation's focused on third party. God, you guys need those fucking games. You guys need those fucking games. Mike says you enjoy the back and forth. Don't act like hey, I like calling out the bullshit, bro. Hey, I don't mind it when you guys come in here because it gives me content. Absolutely. You guys become the content. Thank you for that. Thank you for being the face of the idiocy that I am speaking about. It makes it easier. Honestly, it does. But I'm not going into your tweets. I'm not going onto your places where you talk. You're the one seeking this stuff out. If you're not here, for me, it doesn't fucking matter. Dragonfly Jones says, I don't like PlayStation, but I'm not going to go into their chats telling people how much I hate it. Yeah, because you're not interested. You ain't interested in it. Why would you? This is like the whole issue, like the same thing is like, I mean, you remember, I mean, this goes back, like, even with the launch of the Xbox Series X. You know, the IGN was hosting their launch event, was hosting one of their launch events. And in the chat, they one of the people that worked at IGN used the wrong account. They forgot to log out of the official IGN account. And they started shit talking Xbox in the chat. It got called out. It got called out. And then their reviews editor, Dan Stapleton, later was like, hey, there's nothing wrong with this. There's this whole agenda out there. This is whole anti-Xbox agenda out there. And you can see it clear as day. Absolutely fucking clear. You can call it what you want. You can call it the Xbox tax. You can call it, you can call it whatever. But it's a double standard. It is an absolute double standard. And I'm going to call that shit out. Yo, the Silver Afo. Appreciate you, bro. Gifting 5 Fun Speculation memberships. Let's go. I appreciate you. Thank you, choo choo motherfuckers. Choo choo motherfuckers. Appreciate you, Silver Afro. And congrats to everybody who got it gifted. Victim, victim, victim. Why are you so threatened? Why do you feel like you got to put in the work? That's what I'm curious about. Why do you got to put in the work? Why do you care? You guys don't play on Xbox. Why do you care what Xbox fans want and think? Big Lou Raven says anti-Xbox people will get theirs if Xbox closes down. 100%, man. You shouldn't be asking for this. You shouldn't be putting that out. I mean, you should be putting that out there. You should want them to compete and succeed. Absolutely. It's better for everybody. Absolutely better for everybody. Yo, 3-Bit, what's up, bro? I hope you're doing well, man. All right, let's see here. Who else we got here hanging out? Yeah, bullshit. They want me to accept and shut up, and they want me to shut up and accept the BS rumors, Xboxer Mike says. Hey, rumors are rumors, but that's what I'm going to call them, right? It's speculation rumors, right? Like the whole thing about Xbox potentially being like restructured to be able to become a fully wholly owned subsidiary by Microsoft, right? Here's the thing. That's all fine. We can all talk about and speculate. We've done that before here. Many a times. We've talked about that plenty of times about speculation about the possibilities of Microsoft possibly considering eventually doing something like that. Potential. What if they end up selling Xbox off or Xbox goes independent? There's been talks about that stuff here. It's speculation, right? The difference is how it's painted. You know who did that? PlayStation. Sony did that with PlayStation in 2016. Sony did that with PlayStation in 2016, everybody. Sony Interactive Entertainment. That was the situation that happened in 2016. That already happened in the gaming industry. It happened with PlayStation. Is that a problem? Does it mean PlayStation is dead? This is something that's already happened in the gaming industry for the betterment of PlayStation. So you want to talk about things happening and possibilities, put it in the right perspective. Put it in the right category. Acknowledge that this has already happened to your own favorite brand. Don't go out there and act like this is a death of Xbox because they're considering maybe doing something similar. Make it make sense. Don't give me the double standards. Brett Bingham with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Says, what ponies should be doing is demanding more from PlayStation instead of giving you a fucking talking cube. Make them earn your money. Don't give it away, for fuck's sake. Earning customers, man. That's one of the things that Asha Sharma said, is they got to earn every customer, right? They got to earn every customer. And that's an important thing. We should be asking PlayStation to earn. You should be asking PlayStation to earn your business. You should be asking Nintendo to earn your business, right? Instead, it's no. I just love it and I don't care what they do. That's the mentality that people have. They like, I love it. Whatever they do is a win. Anything that happens is for the betterment and makes sense because PlayStation's strong, Nintendo's strong. Anything Xbox does is painted with a negative tint and they are going out there asking for Xbox to fail. BS Gamer again says nobody demands anything from Valve. You know how many people have asked for Half-Life 3, Portal 3? It's a running joke that they don't know what the number 3 is, right? This People have been asking for that for a long time, but people gave up because of the reality of the situation. You shouldn't want that from PlayStation. You shouldn't want that for them. You shouldn't want that, right? Like you shouldn't want PlayStation to become Valve and stop making games, except for one random thing under a blue moon. That's not what's better for us as gamers. We want the platform holders to be having a strong first party making great games. But hope that Gears budget, they ain't going to succeed unless they put it on PlayStation. Just shut the fuck up. I mean, seriously. All these people out here just need to shut the fuck up. And Mr. Waffle says, "What's up, Mav? Gaming media giving you content ammo for days, bro. This has been an ongoing issue for a long ass time. This has been an ongoing thing for a long ass time. How can Xbox do any good when anything they ever do is painted as a failure before it even has a chance to succeed? That is the like before anything Xbox does is painted as a failure before they even have a chance to succeed. Now, I've talked about blaming some of this on Xbox because they let shit leak out too much, so they lose control of the message. If you let stuff leak out, you have all this stuff, it's gonna spread like wildfire out there. That's all any of the gaming podcasts do is talk about Xbox. Big games industry media, all the content creator podcasts. PlayStation does their shows don't talk about PlayStation; they talk about Xbox, right? Like everybody just talks about Xbox because that's where the content is. That's what's driving their engagement. That's what gets them clicks, right? Is hating on Xbox. So anytime that anything possibly comes out that is Xbox related, you're gonna see that. And how can you ever succeed in a world that is completely against the possibility of you having success? And these people are trying to paint this right now about doom again, about impossibility. Nothing they do is right. We want again. I'm gonna bring some of these double standards up again. They need to listen to their core. They're listening too much to their fans now. They need to be more transparent. They need to stop talking. They need to be more competitive. Oh, they will fail by making games exclusive. They need great games. Oh, Gears cost too much to make. These are just a few examples of the shit double standards we've been seeing where some of this games media has been talking one thing one day and then the very next day they make another tweet. It's insane. It's insanity. It's not a conspiracy, Mike, when it's obvious of what it's for. Two things: completely biased. Two, the algorithm helps. They make money. These sites are driven on clicks. That's why when you have a very clear interview with somebody like Matthew Ball stating out there that I was here, this is like my 10th day. So you asked me this question, I'm going to answer it, not in a way that represents anything that's happening at Microsoft, but in the way I potentially see the industry and things that may be being considered. And he says, yeah, ads could be used to for services, basically to have lower cost entry points. All of a sudden, Winter Central writes an article talking about what he said. Then you have somebody like Shinobi out there. Xbox considering putting in-game ads. That blows up. That tweet blows up. Then you have about 10 different games media sites go out there and run with that. Then you have people like Paul Tassi saying things like, if this is it, then we might as well throw in the towel, right? You have a podcast with Jeff Grubb and his guest on there saying we need to throw tomatoes at Matthew Ball, and this is horrible, blah blah blah, all that kind of shit. Screw guys like that. There was not one inkling or mention that that's what Xbox was going to do. However, guess what? It gets you a lot of attention and clicks. Thankfully, this time, Matthew Ball went out there on Twitter and actually corrected people to where they're forced to have to issue updates on their articles and retractions. Misinformation spreads like wildfire. Misinformation spreads like crazy and the damage gets done. You never see articles about PlayStation considering, Sony considering, right? Um, you want them to be transparent only so you can twist their words. And then you blame them for you twisting their words. Doesn't make sense. Complete double standard. Atreyu agrees. There's always a bad game of telephone when it comes to Xbox. Let them make their moves. We're going to see what they're going to do. We're going to be either critical or positive about whatever changes they make. We've said here, the next 100 days are going to be wild. In 100 days from now, Xbox will be a different company than they are today. They're doing things. They've said so. They've been transparent about it. So we can either say this is the death, or we can look at it as like hopefully they're making necessary changes to have a stronger business that benefits us as consumers. And we can speculate on what those things are going to be, negative and positive. But to put out there your opinion that they are going to fail constantly from all these games media people is asinine. Alvin with the $2, appreciate you, Alvin, says one Reddit assumption spreads 100 miles per hour when it's Xbox. 100%, man. 100%. Soy2 Mang says the funniest part is when if Sony was to do it, they won't paint it in a negative light. It becomes an industry thing, right? Yeah, I agree. It would now if Sony does something or is considering doing something or whatever, if that's ever talked about or whatever, mentioned it or hardly never is until they actually announce something, right? But if they do announce something, it's like, oh, the industry has this problem, right? The industry has this problem. The difference is when they write an article about Xbox, Xbox is doing this. This is so very bad. Oh my God, we're cooked. Oh yeah, by the way, the industry is also having this problem. It's like let's attack Xbox first and then address slightly the fact that it might be more than Xbox. Whereas if it's something that PlayStation has negatively out there that happens, like it's announced, the whole industry is having this massive problem. This is why PlayStation did this. Serve says, bro, you don't want to get rid of smaller creative teams. It's the dumbest move you can make. Hey, we can only speculate on what that is, what's going to happen. I have my speculation on some of the moves that they could make based on the things that Asha Sharma said in her bullet point 5 things they are looking at kind of post for the reset was that they are overextended and they feel like their big franchises were not funded adequately, right? So that is something we can look at that they said that we can speculate upon what that means. Now we can say, now we can say Xbox is going to close small studios, right? Xbox looking at closing small studios, which is what I've seen some games media do. Or we can say, hey, I wonder if that is what they're going to be doing. I think maybe that's something they would do. That might be a move that they make based on the things that Asha Sharma says, but some are going out there reporting Xbox going to be doing this, right? If I was a speculator, I would agree that that might be something they're looking at. I said that I think maybe studios like Compulsion and Double Fine might be in trouble, and I hope that if that is the case, they are able to go independent. And that's based on the writing of Asha Sharma herself, and we can speculate upon the words that she said. And then we can all agree or disagree on the merits of those decisions, right? And that's part of conversation, you know? That's part of conversation. That's part of the things that we value as gamers and as customers. And also the part of what we think is maybe better for Xbox as a brand going forward in the reality of the situations that they're in. I think there's going to be changes, and we'll see what they are. Mr. Callie says, I think ZeniMax Online Studios might be closed. I don't know. Elder Scrolls Online is still very strong for them. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online is still very strong, and there's also been possible reports about them doing some other stuff at Xbox that a team like Elder Scrolls, like ZeniMax Online, might be able to help with. Um, in fact, there was a report that came out about them possibly working on an Xbox or Halo MMO, and this is a report. I don't know if it's true. Whatever, speculation, rumor. Um, that there's a Halo MMO possibly in the works. Obsidian is one of the ones that like kind of pitched it, and they had kind of put some testing things together. It's been a thing in the background for kind of like 2 years, and but the Obsidian wouldn't be the ones to be actually making the game. Now we can look at that and say, well, what move was made from recently? You know, Project Blackbird was scrapped. There was layoffs as Max Online. Is there a possibility that they use their expertise in something like that? I don't know. I could speculate on the possibility of that, you know. But I have no idea. I think ZeniMax Online being a games as a service strength studio is too valuable for them for the things that they may be wanting to do, especially with Matthew Ball there and some of the things that he's been talking about in the past. Um, I think they see that as a strength with the Elder Scrolls on the ZeniMax Online team. Now you could be right, Calorie. I don't know, you know, but strategy wise, I think the teams that are the most adept about having big games that have been successful and having great returns long term are some of the studios they may be coveting the most right now. And I do think they're looking at possible ways to strengthen their biggest franchises with similar opportunities. Um, that wouldn't surprise me at all. As she said, their big franchises have been inadequately funded, which flies in the face of everybody being like, "Hey, Gears cost too much to make. It's $400 million budget." Blah blah blah. What's up, Web Dave? How's it going, bro? What's up, LKP? Fill more pockets. What's up? 3-Bit says they're working on some stuff. Yeah, 3-Bit would know. Now, are they 100 days from now? Uh-oh. Internet dipped. I think it's back. 100 days from now, is Xbox going to be still working on all the same projects they're working on today? Probably not. Probably not. I think there's going to be some decisions made about teams working on what projects. I think that there's going to be major shakeups going on. I think there's going to be a lot of streamlining, all of that. We'll have to wait and see exactly what it all means. We'll have to wait and see, guys. You know, we can go out there and say, hey, this is the death again of Xbox a million times over for the thousandth time. Or we can say, what is Xbox doing to fix the business? Which is what they said they're doing, right? It's a crash course serve, I mean on the way that this works. I don't feel like Asha is necessarily was is prepared for the amount the entire games media industry is against them. Now, I think the proof's going to be in the pudding of her transparency and putting stuff out there, and then the team issuing corrections to people when they run their fucking mouths, and then also when they make these decisions, what are they and how are they going to strengthen Xbox going forward? I think it's going to be interesting to see. But these games media people can't ask for transparency and then say they're talking too much. They can't say they need to pay more attention to their core and then they say that they're listening to their fans too much. Like this is just like double standards. Like, man, listen to their fans got us Gears E Day, right? Well, look at Gears E Day, the return to the core of Gears, the return to the heart of what Gears is, right? The hardcore, gritty, gruesome, bro shooter that it is. Like listening to their fans and what the fans want is why we're not getting Gears 6. Instead, we're getting Gears E Day. Shane says, facts matter. They need to lean into that media hate and play the villain and call them out in real time. They've been doing it, I mean, they've been doing it. Like, with not much hesitation. Once they realize that shit's going wild, they're out there pointing people like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. And they got to keep doing it. They're gonna have to keep doing it. That's the way to play defense against the constant attack that they're under. I mean, it just is what it is. I enjoyed Gears 5 as well, Omen, but we a lot of Gears fans, diehard Gears fans that have been Gears fans from the OG Gears, feel like they lost the way a little bit with what they were delivering as far as the tone of the game, the characters, even some of like the way the game looked with color and all that kind of stuff. It could be a great fun game. It's similar to, okay, like God of War Lafe is an extreme example of getting away from the identity of an IP, right? Now you're gonna have people play God of War Lafe. It's gonna be made great. It's gonna have great graphics. Probably gonna have fun combat. It can be overall quality a great game. But is it at the heart of it a God of War? Right? Is it at the heart of it God of War? No. Right? And that's even more extreme than what they did with Gears 4 and 5. So you had a lot of Gears fans being asking for them to return to the roots of what Gears is at its heart. Where you can have a great thing still, but it's not representative of what made that franchise special in the first place. And the Gears E-Day is that. Gears E-Day returns to what made Gears special in the first place. It returns to the heart. It returns to the heart of Gears. And that's because they listen to their fans, right? It's because they listen to the communities. They listen to what people want. Mr. Calorie says, I hope they show Elder Scrolls 6 this year and make it console exclusive. Well, if you check out Paul Tassie's latest article, he's on about why they won't do that. Who knows if they will do that or not? And we all have to wait and see. Why is there not a article about why the next Horizon game or Last of Us or God of War or whatever franchises that PlayStation owns won't be? Right? Now, I maybe he's right. You know, Elder Scrolls, we've been speculating about that. If they're really serious, you know, Elder Scrolls 6 going to X as an Xbox exclusive. But this paints the double standard. Whereas people are saying that Xbox can't do this. Xbox can't. You know? And it's like you're letting them you're putting failure out there before they even have a chance. Constantly. That's what media does. That's what they're doing. There's gonna be major changes here. Major changes with the Xbox brand. We're gonna find out what those are. Who knows exactly how deep it's gonna go with exclusivity? I don't know. Who knows how deep it's gonna go with Game Pass changes, right? Who knows how deep it's gonna go with um, hardware, right? Hardware options and development. How different Helix might end up being once it actually comes out because of the constraints going on with memory and storage. Who knows, right? But it's we can speculate upon those things, and we can say what moves are they going to make and all that stuff. There's a difference between putting out there this will fail. They can't do this. And that's the energy that is the double standard here. Do you want Xbox to be competitive or do you not? They don't want it to be. Let's just be real. They want Xbox as a platform holder to dissolve into the abyss. They want these studios that have these big franchises to live on under a multi-platform pure strategy that lacks hardware, that strengthens PlayStation, strengthens Nintendo, strengthens Steam, because that's their preferred methods of playing games. What Asha's job and Matthew Ball and everybody else there, the real job that they have, this is the hardest thing. This is the hardest thing that they have. This is what I've been on about messaging and marketing and branding and strength and all that shit. The hardest job that they have is flipping their minds into wanting Xbox to succeed. Flipping their minds into positive conversations because they are excited about Xbox. And that is a very hard thing to do. You're talking about completely enforcing and bringing new energy into a brand. Now, they started out great with that, you know, but they're going to have some hurdles coming ahead with some of these moves that they're making, which is, I think, is why they've been so transparent ahead of the reasons why they're going to be making the moves, because they're trying to get ahead of this because they need to make some drastic moves. Now, we'll see what those moves are, and we can talk about them when they happen. But they, in the midst of all of this, in the midst of all of this stuff, they have to bring back the desire for these people to play on Xbox. That includes games media. That includes games journalism. That includes, everybody. Instead of seeing the moves that are focused on the core Xbox gamers as fails. That's the way the industry's painting these things. The industry's painting the things that are attention to the core Xbox fans as failures, where they're championed on Nintendo and PlayStation. Double standard ass shit out there. And they won't own up to it. They like the thing is like here, I would appreciate these guys way more if they were just completely open about their bias. Like I prefer Xbox, right? I'm saying right here, I prefer Xbox. I prefer the platform. I think the ecosystem gives me better value. I like the franchises that they have better. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I want them to succeed. But these guys won't be open about the fact that they only want PlayStation to succeed. They're going out there saying all these things constantly, writing all these articles, spreading misinformation, writing bullshit out, uh, to diminish any impact that Xbox can make, and they're doing so without even realizing the bias because they're not even being honest with themselves. They think they have this journalistic integrity. They think they have some kind of journalistic integrity, but it's bullshit. They have their preferences, they have their biases, but they won't own up to it. They won't own up to it. And they won't cover the other brands in the same light that they cover Xbox. They won't expose the contradictions. Omen says, to be fair, Bungie has been getting a lot of bad press too. Yeah, but that bad press has been on Bungie, not PlayStation. It's like poor PlayStation. Bungie screwed you. And maybe rightfully so in this regard. But if this was Xbox, Xbox kills Destiny. Xbox caused Bungie to become a failure. That's the difference of how the articles that would be written, Omen. And you can't tell me that's not the case. Oh, and we've seen it already with many Xbox studios. How these articles are written and painted when they don't necessarily deliver on things. How can Xbox release a game in this state? How can this happen? How can they do this? Xbox needs to have better control over their studio. Oh, Bungie is just screwing up. Bungie is just screwing up. But it's like they don't want to acknowledge the fact that Bungie is owned by PlayStation. You could easily look at it like that and see where the difference is. It's never PlayStation's fault. Nothing is ever PlayStation's fault. But everything is always Xbox's fault, even when PlayStation does bad shit. PlayStation raises prices. Well, it's because Xbox is not being as competitive as they need to be. Xbox is more competitive. Oh, this is going to be bad for Xbox. It's going to force them. They're going to die. The contradictions you see constantly in the industry. Eastside Vandal says, Mav, you need to do a show with Kay Asante on this. We've been talking about it a lot on the Discord. Yeah, I mean, Kay Asante is always welcome to be on our shows, bro. Kay Asante rocks, man. Um, Absolutely insanity. Double standard contradiction. It's a paradox, guys. You can't. A paradox is like you can't win either way. You know, like no matter what you do, like it doesn't matter what they do. They can have the best subscription service. They can have the best access to games. They can have the most first party studios putting out the most games. They can have the cheapest available next gen hardware. They can give people access to PC games and Xbox games for one price. They can put pressure on other industry publishers to end up offering that in their ecosystem. They can bring back third party games that used to go exclusive into Xbox. Not only that, but at a better value with Game Pass day and date, plus also Xbox Play Anywhere into the ecosystem. They can do all these. You would think I'm talking about a fucking dream gaming company here, right? You would think I'm talking about, oh my God, like these guys are just doing so right by consumers. They're just like, that is insane. How can a gaming company be operating this way? It's just awesome, right? We're talking about Xbox. These are all things that they do and have done, but none of that gets talked about. None of it gets talked about. None of it. Instead, they talk about why these things might be bad. And then they go around and make excuses and blame Xbox for prices going up on other platforms. I've seen this shit. It's asinine. It's fucking crazy. It's delusional. Instead of asking other platforms to offer similar value and have the mindset that that's better for us as gamers with just how expensive everything is out there, especially. Instead of having that mindset, it's phrased in its way as this can't succeed. They're going to be doomed. You shouldn't be excited for this. Why isn't this stuff talked about more? Why aren't the pro consumer things that they've been doing over the last generation talked about more? Why aren't they being championed by games media? It's because they don't want them to succeed. Instead, like I agree with you, Shane, the idea of the premium experience, even though it's a marketing thing, has diminished all of that. Where you can have a game like Gears E-Day and Fable looking like they do, right? And I'll tell you the real reason why they're upset about Gears not going to PlayStation is because it does look like that an extreme premium experience. It looks like that shit that is like, oh my gosh, wow, this is how it's done. And it's like they can't stand to see that stuff representing another brand and not just available for everybody. Malachi says, why do they not want them to succeed? I'll tell you why. Because they only care about buying those games on the platforms that they prefer. They only care about those games existing on the platforms they prefer. They don't want to have to buy Xbox anymore. They don't want to. Like they don't want, if they want to play on a TV and they want to buy like hardware, they already have their PlayStation. That's where they play the most, right? That's where they want the game. They don't want to have to invest in another ecosystem, right? And they think that's what's best for consumers. They think that's what's best for consumers. BS Gamer 1982 says celebrating games being taken away from people is a bad look. Well, then how come it wasn't done when PlayStation decided to stop putting their single player games on PC? Or sorry, how come it was done when PlayStation decided to stop putting their games on PC? How come that was celebrated by the games media? How come that was championed by the games media as a refocus on their core user base? How come? Explain that shit to me. Is that a bad look? Was it a bad look for the games media then? Is it a bad look for people on social media championing that shit? Oh, okay. Because PC is dog shit. That's why you can play fucking all of those Sony games that are released on PC at higher frame rates and ultra wide format with better visuals because PC is dog shit. That's bullshit, bro. There's tons of millions of PC gamers that ain't ever gonna buy a fucking console. Instead, you have delusional people like you go out there and champion one thing and then shit on another thing, and you make some bullshit excuse for it. It's fucking asinine, bro. You should go be a journalist. You should go fucking apply for fucking Forbes or Bloomberg. I think you might. They might be looking for people just like you, bro. Might be looking for people just like you. They already got some. Big Lou Raven says, "I wish someone would buy out Sony." Hey, that's already been speculated on a ton as well. I mean, it's been put out there that Sony is not in the best financial health either, man. Ain't no conversations about that out there. I mean, the realities are what they are, but they ain't nobody putting that shit out there. Portable says there's nobody in the media celebrate. Yeah, bullshit. Go back and look when that was announcement was made. When that was put out there, it wasn't put out there in a negative light. It wasn't put out there in a negative light, but these fuckers are so pissed off that Gears ain't going to PlayStation. Oh my god, they can't stand it. They can't stand it. They're just shocked that Xbox is doing it. How can Xbox say they're doing this and then also say they're in finance they're not healthy? It doesn't make sense. Don't they want those more sales? Well, they explained it. They're trying to restore the faith in the console and the hardware space. They're trying to win the core gamers back. You know, they explained it to these people, but they choose not to actually listen to the words that are given to them. And then, in the name of transparency, which they've been asking for, they say that it's not actually being transparent, and they make up their own shit as to why not. You can't make this stuff up. Like, you think you, I mean, they're going out there saying the reality of the situation, and I think a big part of it's because they're setting us up for some of the stuff that's going to happen here in the next 100 days. It's going to be massive changes. She's looking out there, she's figuring out what's wrong and trying to fix it, right? Man, dude, I was playing 007. Guess what? 007 First Light is Xbox Play Anywhere, everybody. I bought that game. I have it on my console. I have it on my PC. I was playing it last night on PC, and holy shit, is it glorious on my PC. That is way better than any of your PS5 Pros. And holy shit, is it awesome. Is it fucking awesome? And you wish that your PS5 Pro experience was as good as my PC experience on that game. And I get it on both. I can also play it on my handheld. I can play it on my ROG. And it's fucking glorious, everybody. Oh god, it's fucking glorious. It's optimized. It runs fantastic on everything. Oh, such a great game. Such a great game. Now you can pretend that there's only one premium experience out there and that nothing else matters besides what you like, right? PlayStation is important. Nintendo is important. PC is important. Xbox is important. All of them are important. They all have their fans. They all have their own ecosystem. These things are all important to the games industry. Guess what also is important? Mobile gaming. It's fucking important. There's a whole generation of people coming up into mobile gaming. All of these things are important to gaming. They all have their own individual customers and people that prefer one thing over another and all that stuff. And that is completely okay. But stop pretending like one fucking thing doesn't have the right to exist. Why do you champion the same shit for every one of these fucking brands out there? And then when Xbox does something similar, you say this can't be. You're full of shit. All of you are fucking full of shit. Just say what it is. You don't want them to exist. Whether it is a deep hatred for Microsoft, whether it is the fact that you just love PlayStation so much that you only want to have to focus on that, whatever it is, just be honest about it. Stop lying through your fucking teeth. Just say it like it is. Say you want them to fail. I fucking dare you to be honest about why you would even go into an Xbox podcaster or content creator's chat or write an article or whatever it is you're doing when you despise the brand, when you want to see them fail. Why? Make it make sense. If you don't like something, move on and focus on the shit that you like. You're all fucking delusional hypocrites. You live in a double standard world where the only thing that matters is you and what you like. Just own up to it. Be fucking real. Stop fucking lying. Stop fucking lying and trying to run this kind of biased mission against something. If you're a journalist, be objective. It's your fucking job. If you're a fan, pay attention to what you like. Ain't no shame in that. Stop pretending like shit doesn't have a right to exist just because you don't like it. Brett Bingham, appreciate the $5 super chat. Says maybe, just maybe, if you talk shit on every platform but your own, maybe you and your platform are the problem, not the others. Food for thought. I'm not angry, Portal. I don't actually get anger emotions or anything like that revolving gaming. This is a fucking fun hobby. But you guys make it easy to point out this bullshit. It's just fun to do. You're providing content for me because you're fools. Do you see any tears? Hey, Keelan, do you see any tears coming from my eyes, bro? Do you see any tears coming from my eyes? You're here watching me right now. You're here watching. You can choose to watch or you can choose to not. You're here for a reason. Why are you here? Oh, we don't need to block. We don't need to block them, Boss Mod. I don't care. These guys are providing me content right now. I'm having fun with this shit. Appreciate you though. They're providing me content, man. Like, why, if you hate Xbox, do you even go on a show talking about Xbox? Why? Why do you go into the chats? Like, fuck, I don't. Buy no need. Hey, I told him to unblock you, bro. But if you, hey, cool. Peace out. You don't really belong here anyway, to be honest with you. Hey, no harm in leaving. This content ain't for you. BS Gamer says, I think I'd be grateful. I love our community. I'm grateful. I love the fucking community, man. Hey, if you want to watch the content and give me content, hey, dude, I am super grateful for you to be here. But I'll call shit out when you say shit in the fucking in the chat. You expect that you are just here in the chat on my channel and say stuff in a argumentative or debateful way to me that's talking about certain topics and me not to clap back at you. You're trying to basically say I'm wrong. Well, I'm gonna fucking tell you why I'm right. I'm gonna say that shit. If you're watching my channel and my fucking content, you're here to engage with me, are you not? Hey, if you whatever you play on, bro, but if you're gonna get triggered by the shit I have to say about Xbox, I suggest people watch the content they fucking like. I mean, why? It's like hate. What do you hate watch? Do you go and like, you know what? I'm gonna go watch a movie about my least favorite thing. That was just fucking weird, man. That's just fucking weird. Now, I don't mind arguing with you guys, but if that's what you're here to do, I'm gonna fucking do it. I mean, that's why you're here, and you're only here because you like debate and to poke the bear, and I find it fun. And you're only reinforcing the shit that I'm talking about without even realizing it. Without even realizing it. You're reinforcing everything I'm fucking saying because you're basically the image of what I'm talking about in the chat. And I find that fucking hilarious. You are the face of it for the content right now. It's amazing. I think people get surprised when somebody actually talks back to the chat. I fucking love talking back to the chat. I fucking talk positive stuff, negative stuff all the time. Satna says GT4 TV used to be heavily sponsored by Microsoft. They used to trash JRPGs and PS stuff so hard. Then Polygon got that 750K documentary money from Microsoft in exchange for a 6 out of 10 review for The Last of Us. Lot of stuff. Ain't no hate. Ain't no hate here, man. You could just be acknowledge that you hate Xbox. Just say it. I mean, it's like when you make a tweet. Like I could go make a tweet right now. I love Xbox, right? Or Xbox is the best. And you know what you'll see? 100 fucking PlayStation guys in the comments saying, "You're a dumbass. You suck. You're what's wrong with the industry. Xbox is dead. Why do you love such a shitty brand?" I mean, and then it's like they'll quote like articles from people like Paul Tassi and shit like that. Like, see, this is why Xbox. Look, you can't make this shit up, bro. That's the reality of the world we live in. You guys don't want it to succeed. You don't want it to exist. Just be honest about it. Brett Bingham with the 5. Appreciate it. Says, if anyone came here looking for a clown, perhaps look in the mirror. Hey, it is. I mean, it is what it is. I don't understand personally, the whole like watching people that are talking about things that you don't like. However, if that's what they want to do, I'm gonna fucking take advantage of it. Appreciate it. Like I said, gives me content. How's it going? Be nice. South Star Online, what's up? How's it going? Game Shark, what's up? Fahim Scott, what's up? Hope everybody's doing well. What's up, Boss Mod? Is it hot as fuck in there? Omen says, I do love hate watching The Bachelor. That's funny. So is it entertainment, right? Entertainment for these guys to watch Xbox shows. Shows about Xbox is entertainment for them to like laugh at the things that they say. You think? Malachi says arguing in the chats triggers the dopamine. Hate 3-bit says I hate watching Love Island. Love it, dude. Senua does look sick, man. That was a big surprise. I didn't expect Senua to get announced. I had no idea that they were making a new Hellblade already. You know, it's absolutely fucking crazy. Is there a show that I hate watch? Do I hate watch any shows? If you hate me, you're not gonna watch it. Right? Yeah. I don't. I don't know. I don't hate. Yeah, I don't hate watch anything. Once you like don't like a show, you're out. Yeah, yeah. If I don't like a show, I just stop watching it. Or a movie. Like if I don't like something, I don't really mess with it. You know. I mean, I guess we all have our own things. I know that there's a lot of people like I mute and shit stuff. I mute and shit stuff. I mute and block stuff that like I just don't want to see on Twitter. You know, just like I like all the political stuff. I just like mute words because I just am sick of seeing that shit on my timeline. You know, or like certain things. I'm just like, nope. I ain't even interested in this shit. Stop flooding my timeline with it. You know, like I try and block the shit I don't like away because I would like to focus on the things I enjoy. I hate watch the Lakers. I am kind of hate watching the Spurs right now. I want the Knicks to win because, you know, I'm a Mavericks fan. So, you know, I don't want to see the Spurs succeed. And if I could see Jalen Brunson win, that's great. You know, as a former Maverick, but I do cringe the fact that the Mavericks had Brunson and Luka Doncic draft in the same fucking year, and we have neither of them anymore. It's absolutely crazy. Renzi Harmon says so only Xbox guys were allowed here. Nope. You want to talk shit to me? Go ahead, bro. That guy said some shit like why am I crying or something like that. So, it is what it is. We're just talking. When I speak with passion because I just am animated and energized because I believe in the things I'm saying, that's not crying. Crying is what you guys do on fucking Twitter all day about Xbox. If I'm not energized and, you know, passionate about the things I'm saying, like what the fuck am I doing? You know? Like am I not supposed to believe in the words? Portal asks if Xbox stops making hardware tomorrow, would you be sad? Like in what sense? I would be like, man, that sucks. I'd probably feel like when Dreamcast like went away, when Sega stopped making hardware. Probably, you know, I think it's like really shitty, you know, and a horrible thing for all of us, like for gaming in general. I would think it's like a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, would I like have tears come out of my fucking eyes or something like that? No, because it's I'll still be able to play all the fucking games, but like yeah, it would be like a disappointing thing for sure. Ant Man says, "Bro, you got a lot of trolls in your chat. They show up whenever I call out the realities of the situation. They show up when they know that." there's going to be conversation that is against their agenda. They show up when I'm pointing out like facts or like shit that they know is real that they want to try and sweep under the rug, right? And they can't debate it, they can't argue it because the points that they make are just fucking stupid. So it's it's fun to talk about. Right. Sometimes it's fun to have those guys in the chat because it paints a very clear picture about the mentality that's out there, and you can't make this shit up. So you can't make it up, but they are the example, right? Like they're the example of what I'm talking about, right? So like it's easy to make an example out of them because of the dumb shit that they say. So sometimes I don't mind them being here. You know what I mean? Now if we're just having like a good old like hey, let's like watch this thing or whatever, and they're just here just constantly shitting on stuff that we're trying to enjoy, hey, yeah, fucking kick out. You know what I mean? But like if they're here and I'm engaging in a conversation about the asinine fucking double standards that exist in the gaming world and the games industry, and they're here being the example of that, I'm gonna make them that. I'm gonna fucking make them that because they're just making the case for me. I don't even have to do shit. Gaia was in here literally saying that PlayStation's mostly focused on third party and that first party doesn't matter to them anymore. And why aren't people asking for Valve to make Half-Life 3 and games like that? Like making it a defense about Sony's focus on third party. Like saying that that's why people are having this fucking double standard on Xbox. Like it's like makes no fucking sense, man. Like you don't want PlayStation to be making great games? Have we given up that much to the fact that you're on about that now? You're on about defending their place as a storefront and the lack of first party quality titles coming? And the fact that now you see them as such a strong store that you need the Xbox games there and Xbox has to have that store to survive, is that what you think is best for you as a gamer? Is that what you actually are paying attention to? Is that what you're desiring? Because holy shit, man, we've lost the fucking plot. Borbs says basically she did the easy, quick fix in her first 100 days. Now it's the hard stuff that she's is going to do. These next 100 days, not easy stuff. Being a CEO. Hell yeah, man, 100%. We've talked about it. This next 100 days is gonna be some massive changes, bro. There's gonna be some tough decisions. Like I said, I think there's gonna be some layoffs. I think there's probably gonna be some closures. I think there's going to be streaming layoffs from the platform side as well to be able to refocus on doing um, things differently than they have been. Yeah, I think there's major shit about to go down 100%. But we can look at that in two lights. What are these moves being made for, right? Are these moves being made for the betterment and the strength of Xbox going forward to restore health to the brand so that way we get more games, we get better games, we get a better ecosystem? Or are they being made because they're trying to dissolve Xbox, which the games media is trying to make it out to be, right? And that's what they're trying to paint it as. That's what they're trying to paint it as. And I ain't buying that shit. Portal, do I? It says, do I believe the rumors about spinning off Xbox? Do I believe it? Do I believe that it's a consideration? Absolutely. PlayStation, fucking Sony did that with PlayStation in 2016, dude. It's a thing that's happened with multiple big giant corporations and businesses under their umbrella before. If they feel like that's what's best for the Xbox brand to succeed going forward, then maybe they consider it. But that's not news that it's happening. And it's not necessarily a negative thing like it's being painted out to be either. People paint it out to be Xbox is dead because of this possibility or Xbox is dying because of this or that. Is PlayStation in a better position because they did that in 2016? Nobody's talking about the fact that PlayStation did it. That Sony did that, formed Sony Interactive Entertainment back then, and separate the business as a wholly owned subsidiary. Why wasn't that being reported on as a negative? Why isn't that being reported on as PlayStation's in trouble? Right? Why isn't that being painted on as they're doing it to sell off PlayStation? Right? Why isn't that being said as they're doing it to sell them to Apple? That's the difference in the coverage, man. That's the shit I'm talking about. That's the double standard. This is an example of this. It's already happened with their biggest competitor in the platform space. And its name is probably the most preferred platform of you, and that's PlayStation. Like, it doesn't make any sense. The double standards are out there absolutely killing me, bro. Absolutely fucking killing me. It's a full-on attack. It's a media blitz, guys. They had a killer showcase. They're being transparent that there's major changes coming. So now they're trying to, well, Xbox being too transparent. They're telling us they're getting ahead of these things. So we need to set out the possibility that all of these things are for the worse and not for the good. Let's get ahead of it now. That's what they're doing, bro. And meanwhile, you have PlayStation that doesn't have zero transparency whatsoever, which all of these people have called for transparency, more transparency for Xbox about things. PlayStation not being transparent about things at all, and then they just do shit, and then they get free passes on all of it. They get free passes on it, and instead it's not PlayStation's fault, it's the industry's fault, right? It's insane. Donnie says, I'm not allowed to speak logically. How dare I? Yeah, I mean, those games ain't free, Breaths Champion. You have to pay for a subscription service. And if you actually read the reports, Breaths, Game Pass has been helping the ecosystem dramatically and basically helping support other areas that have been failing. There's a reason why, after every single one of those trailers at the Xbox showcase, you had the big ass splash screen that says Game Pass Day 1. They're reinforcing their faith in Game Pass, trying to get it back. That's why they dropped the price. They're trying to restore the growth into Game Pass. That's why they're talking about that. Game Pass is a crucial part of what they want to do. So they don't need to kill Game Pass. Game Pass is being offered up on a silver platter from some because they wanted exclusives back. Turns out they're doing both. They're doing both. And this was after Osh has already been in that spot for the first 100 days, learning the business. They proceed to have those splash screens after all those fucking games at the showcase. They have Persona 6 going into Game Pass Day 1. Persona 6, a third-party game, going into Game Pass Day 1. Like Squad CEO says, with an annoying amount of exclamation point emojis. I can read your chat without spamming it full of bullshit, bro. So that's why Xbox is in debt, because of Game Pass killing the brand. That was Phil Spencer's vision. Then how come it was so focused after the show, during the showcase? If that's not a part of the brand going forward, they didn't have to make it a big focal point. They didn't have to make it a huge thing after each one of those games. They didn't have to. They chose to. They didn't have to. After all those games, they didn't have to promote Game Pass. Persona 6 was Phil Spencer's contract. Not yeah, probably Sarah Bond was actually even more responsible for that one than Phil because of her work with Sega. But yeah, that happened under Phil, yeah. They can still choose how much they're going to promote Game Pass after each one of those game announcements and those splash screens, and talk about Game Pass as returning to growth and restoring. And then fact articles come out later about how Xbox has been helping the brand and actually helping keep them sustainable despite the failures in the other aspects of the business. I don't know if you caught that shit, but it's all out there. These people have been trying to kill Game Pass since fucking Game Pass existed, bro. Why don't you focus on what's better for you as a customer, man? Sadness says, I still think Phil and Sarah Vision was correct. I don't care. I mean, you can. I think as far as like what's right for consumers, maybe so. But like as far as the attention away from the core fan base, no. The last couple years was a big detriment. I think raising the price of Game Pass was a mistake. Said that when they did it, because then you take it away as a no-brainer into a tough decision for many. Bro, if you put all those emojis in the chat again, I'm just gonna fucking block you, dude. And stop typing in all caps. It's official rule. If I see one more tweet from your ass with all fucking caps and a bunch of emojis, you're blocked. Sincere says, so let's rewind the clock a bit before Game Pass and only for studios. What would folks in here have done to convince people to buy the console? Yeah. Um, LKP says, what's weird is that you still have a lot of Xbox channels saying Game Pass should go. Yeah, man. Like I don't get it. Like I've been. Are we like customers or are we like what are we? You know, like I'm gonna champion the better deals, man. Like I wish Nintendo had something as strong as Game Pass. I wish PlayStation put their games on fucking PS Plus extra or premium day and date. You know, like that's what I want. Sea Lord says I have way more patience than you would have. Well, here's the thing. I can see this stuff and engage with it and have fun with it in an animated way, but it's very different than it getting to me. You know what I mean? It's very different than it getting to me. All right, you're blocked, bro. Peace out because you can't fucking learn to actually type in any kind of respectful way. Later, bitch.
Bye.
So I'll give a round of applause. What was the state of Xbox before Game Pass? I mean, bro, like it's they grew at Xbox. Here's the thing, like this brand has transformed so much since 20 like 16. You know what I mean? It like fucking like they Game Pass. They got fucking like 40 fucking studios. You know what I mean? Like they got all this shit. They got all of this shit. All of it. Right? They have good hardware. Right? I would say great. I like Xbox Series X is fucking fantastic, man. And if you want the cheapest entry point right now, it's still Series S. If you actually want a box to put on your TV that can play games natively, right? They have good hardware options. They have a fucking killer subscription service. that gives you games actually day and date at an affordable fucking price, that with a lot of first party games coming out every fucking year, right? They have this. They have fucking the ability to buy those games still, you dumbasses. Anybody that just hates Game Pass so much, you can buy them if you want to. You don't have to go attack Game Pass and the people that subscribe and to choose to play the games that way, because they're paying for it too with the service that's offered to them. Like we have all of these options since like 2013 to 2016, when Phil started making major drastic changes. The point that they were in then to the point where we are today, 10 years after that, when we have so much shit to look forward to as far as fucking games, and the conversation being out there still about Xbox is like horrible, Xbox is trash, Xbox is that. Holy shit, you're just pissed off because we have more than you. It ain't all about fucking hardware sales. It ain't all about fucking how many consoles they sell. It's about what they're delivering to us as the fucking customers, people. Get your heads on straight. It's about the value that we have. It's about the amount of games that we get. It's about how those games look. I'm sorry you got a dancing cube as your mascot now for God of War. That ain't our fault. You saw the Xbox showcase. You saw the amount of first party games. You saw the support for the third party games. You saw those games fucking come into the ecosystem. You see that we get a better deal. We see that we get better value for those. You see that if we buy those games, we get it on fucking PC and console. You still want it to fail. You still want it to fail. Let's focus on why we're in this state and try and figure out what they need to do to fix it. But Game Pass is just an easy target for you because it's been the easy target since it existed for all of you people. But it's not the reality of the problem. You can just say something, it doesn't make it fucking true. The constant reports that have been out constantly ever since Game Pass has existed has proved the fact that that's not true. So stop throwing it out there as it's the fucking problem. Stop asking for consumers to get less. If you had the same energy for trying to shit on Game Pass as much, instead you were positive about it, maybe Game Pass would be a lot more popular than it is today. Fuck, man, consumers are so fucking crazy, dude. Game, like I said this many times, like the gaming customer, his mind is completely flipped into what's fucking matters, man. Into what fucking matters. Who matters? Is it us? They earn our business by offering us great content with at a great value, right? We pay for the services or the products. Right? They have to earn that. It's not given. I know you guys just willfully give it up to PlayStation and Nintendo constantly. You just bend over, spread your cheeks, and say, take it. I know you give it up constantly, right? I know that's what you like to do. But for me as a customer, I like these companies to earn my fucking business, right? I like these companies to earn my money. And if they're offering me something that I think is a good deal and a good value, that's what I'm going to fucking do. That's what I'm going to be interested in. But instead, these customers are like, hey, we can't do this, guys, because if we do this, it's just like, it's going to be, they gotta buy the games. We're not supporting the developers, everybody. We gotta support the developers, because if we're subscribing to a subscription service, then we're not actually benefiting the actual people that are making the games. And then if that happens, how are they gonna succeed? Everybody, how are they gonna succeed? How can we do this? How can we? Game Pass needs to die in order for them to be able to succeed. Nobody buys Xbox games. Y'all just fucking Game Pass their games. Fucking get real, people. And like, you were probably standing outside a fucking Blockbuster with pitchforks when I was fucking 20 years old, being like, hey, I buy my games. I buy my games. Don't rent games. Don't rent games. Don't you look like fucking idiots? Get real. Game Shark 7176 with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Says, imagine buying a car and being worried if Dodge made enough money from you. Hey, excuse me, Mr. Dealer here at my local Buick GMC Dodge Dodge Ram dealership. Um, Now what's the sticker price here? What are you advertising this truck for? You know? Oh, it's a payment. You mean I got to make a payment on this truck? Well, shit. If I got to make a payment on this truck, how are you going to survive as a business? I better pay for it outright. I better pay for this truck all in right now. You offer leasing? Oh my god. How can you be in business? You offer leasing here? What the fuck? You mean I don't own it? I mean, you don't offer leasing? You want to offer me this monthly leasing payment deal? Oh man, this is like horrible for the whole fucking car industry. This is like the car industry can't survive under this fucking madness. Oh my god, we got to work. Let me write a letter to Ram and start a petition or to fucking whoever. Hey, you guys, this is crazy. I went in to buy a truck. Oh, I wanted to buy a truck, guys. You know what? And they fucking offered me a lease. Holy shit. I fucking like, I don't know how, like, you guys can even survive. I mean, I'm so worried about how can you exist, guys? I'm so, I'm so concerned about you and your survival as a business. I mean, you got to take that option away. I only want the option to pay straight cash for my cars. Please. That's the only way I feel like you're going to be okay. That's the only way I feel like you're going to be all right. Okay? Just please, for the health of all of us, can you please take those options away from me as a customer? Thank you. I mean, imagine that. Like, that's the fucking weird mentality that people are having with this shit. It makes no sense. Delusion. Okay, pieces. But Mav, if you don't buy games, you don't care about Xbox. I know you're being sarcastic, by the way. Um, Man, I'm a fucking gamer, bro. I love Xbox games. I love the service. People want to attack. They all think they know the right answers. People have been trying to kill Game Pass in the games media and from like PlayStation fanboy side since the existence of it. Problem I had the last like couple months is a lot of Xbox guys were doing the same because they thought that exclusivity could only exist in a world where Game Pass day and date doesn't. Because they pulled it out of their ass from a magic hat and was like, it has to be one or the other. It was never one or the other. I'm a customer. I want more options, man. Want to buy a game? Awesome. Want to subscribe to a service that offers that game? Awesome. If I want to buy it on Play Anywhere, so I get it on console and PC, awesome. If I want to buy it on Steam, awesome. What I don't expect is the ability to buy it on another console platform as a right, like Gears. I don't give a shit if games go to PlayStation or not. But it's not a right that they have to put it there. Like Gears does not have to go there. If they think that putting Gears exclusively on Xbox is going to be stronger for their brand and their platform going forward, that's a decision Xbox deserves the right to make. Much like PlayStation, much like Nintendo. They want to act like it's not okay. They don't want to like it's okay when PlayStation does it. It's okay when Nintendo does it. Right? Horse shit. Donnie B says it was very disappointed in some of our Xbox brothers labeling some Game Pass fans. I feel like that was kind of like, like I understand having two different points of view, right? And that was both sided too, because you also had people that are championing Game Pass calling some of the people that were doing that like closet ponies as well, which was like kind of a slap in their face because I think the reality is both people cared about Xbox and they both prefer the ecosystem. And there's really not a difference between a Game Pass fan and an Xbox fan to me, right? But I also think that because those people were thinking that mentality of like exclusives were better and they were somehow force fed misinformation that it had to be one or the other, um, choosing that, like I don't feel like labeling people as not an Xbox fan was the right thing either. I think that's both two sided there. I didn't like though the people that were saying ever since Game Pass existed, championing for it, always saying how awesome it was and how all this other bullshit and all these anti Game Pass people were going after it, all of a sudden sounding like them, right? And echoing the same shit that had been said when they had been defending against it. And it turns out the people that were on both sides saying that both can coexist were the ones that were right. It was never an option. It was never a question of can both exist. Do I think they're still going to make hard decisions in the future potentially about certain games maybe not being day and date? I think that can of worms was opened with Call of Duty, right? I think that showed that there's a possibility, and we talked about that. But I don't think there was ever a hard choice that had to be made one way or the other. I think both of them are important to the ecosystem and the platform going forward, and I think they see that. I think that's the way it's going to go, you know. And they're going to be here, you know. Like Xbox is too big for it to disappear into the ether like these people want it to. Like it's too big. It's like they got way too many subscribers onto a subscription service. They got way too many people that play on the console ecosystem. They got way too many people playing on the app on PC, on the cloud, all that shit. Xbox is way too big for these for to happen what games media wants. They want it to like disappear into just a publisher and that's it. Like Xbox as a brand is massive, right? And they have an image problem that I think is mainly directed from messaging and marketing and how they've been handling that, and some of the moves that they make aren't good for messaging and marketing either. And I think they got to reverse that. I think if they reverse the image so you have less idiot trolls showing up to everybody's fucking chat talking shit on Xbox, you have less games media essentially doing the same thing with their articles. I think when they change that image to where you have like, hey, Xbox is cool again. I look like an idiot for shitting on it constantly. I think if they can change that image, then overall that's how they're going to start to make a biggest turnaround. The image is the hardest thing to change. They had a good start, and this the media's trying to do everything they fucking can to squash it. Yo, Game Shark, appreciate you, bro. With 5. Says every Xbox fan that shit on Game Pass and says it needs to go is sub to Game Pass. I hate this stupid. um, I guarantee you they are. Yeah, I mean, how many in this chat here are subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate? Can you? I mean, I know we're a small sample size, and this is very like a heavy diehard Xbox community, right? But like, I think probably most of us are subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate. You know what I mean? And I bet a lot of the people that have been anti Xbox on that stuff is also subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate. And that's also how a lot of them play the games, And it's like you're basically going and attacking a product that you're using because you see the good value in it. You know what I mean? Like it's contradictory to like say something that I am subscribed to because I see the value in it does shouldn't exist. Yeah, I mean, I can fucking imagine not having Game Pass Ultimate, to be honest with you guys. I mean, if it happens one day and it doesn't exist, I'll still play games, I'll still buy Xbox games. You know, but I'm gonna take advantage of the fucking service if it's here, and I ain't gonna be ashamed of it either. You ain't gonna have anybody out there being like, I'm hurting the Xbox brand because I'm subscribing to a fucking service that they're offering me. What horse shit is that? Chris Coleman says nobody is saying that Xbox publisher should go away, just the Xbox hardware, which has become more redundant as Microsoft pushes their PC store, calling it Xbox, removing focus on the Xbox console. Yeah, 100% that's what they're saying. It's what I'm saying that they're saying. They're saying Xbox shouldn't exist as a platform. They should only exist as a publisher, and that's what they want. And you know why they want that is because they already play on PlayStation and they just want the Xbox games on PlayStation. They don't want to have to buy an Xbox. They don't if they want to play on TV. They don't want to have to buy into the ecosystem. Yeah, 100% agree with you, Chris. I just think it's bullshit that just because they're not personally interested in the brand, they think that they have a right to the games that they think to a product that they think shouldn't fucking exist. Well, if Xbox exists and they're a strong platform and they're bringing out great games and they have good console hardware out there, that's going to be a decision they have to make. Do they buy in? Do they get FOMO? Or do they just ignore the games? Right? That's the whole point of it. And that's what they don't want to happen. But the contradiction is they don't ask the same thing for PlayStation and Nintendo. They don't ask the same thing for PlayStation and Nintendo. They only want to see Xbox fail, and that because they're saying it's redundant. But man, there's fucking millions of Xbox console owners out there. It's a core fan base. It's not redundant if it's the people that spend the most money in the ecosystem that are the most important people to the ecosystem are the console owners that are bought into the Xbox ecosystem. That's not redundant. That's a base. That's a base. That's a base that's there. That's a base that's bought in. That's a base you need to pay attention to. That's the foundation. That's the foundation of your customers. That's the foundation of everything that you've done. And they can either completely wash that away or they can embrace it. They started washing it away, but now they're embracing it. And I think they need to continue embracing it. If PlayStation or Nintendo were on the verge of going multi-platform, you would see it. Nope. Didn't see it when PlayStation was on the verge of going multi-platform. Didn't see it then. Didn't see it when they took the games away from PC. The single player, when they decided to stop making the single player games on PC. I didn't see it. Didn't see it, Mike. Didn't see people calling it a mistake. I didn't see people saying it's the death of PlayStation. I didn't see any of that shit. I say, oh, they're paying more attention to their core fan base. They're refocusing on the core. That's what I saw. Those indie gems dropped in the Game Pass are incredible. Yeah, man. There's so many, dude. There's like so many like fucking like awesome games that just get dropped in there. Like you have like game of the year candidates going to Game Pass day and date. For not even some of them not even from like Xbox Studios. You know, you got like third party shit. Twitter feeds or what you want. This is from the fucking games media, bro. It's the articles and the shit that's out there. Like it's not just Twitter. Like this whole like, oh, it's just let's just be real, okay? This is just a small echo chamber on Twitter. Yeah, the core fan base of anything is small, right? But it fucking ripples, man. Like a lot of this shit comes from the games media that is actually perpetuating these articles and driving a lot of these thoughts, and it has a ripple effect that spreads to the common consumer. That is doesn't they just it's word of mouth, man. It spreads. Where does the core for anything come from? You know what I mean? Like it comes from the actual people that are the biggest enthusiasts over it, and then it spreads out from there. There's so much negativity always from the outside, from the people that don't like Xbox, shitting on it constantly, you know, and that spreads. It spreads so much, man. Like you don't see the same attention brought to the other platforms. That's the double standard, man. A double standard, and then you have the same kind of games media, that, like saying Xbox needs to do something, right? Constantly, and then when Xbox does it, it's wrong. They need to do something else, and then when they do that, it's wrong. They need to do something else, and when they do that, Xbox is dead. They're failing. It's wrong. They need to do something else. Xbox might be this. Xbox might be that. Xbox might be this. Xbox might be blah, blah, blah. It's just the conversation is fucking ridiculous. It's just ridiculousness at its finest. It's all they fucking talk about. It's all they do. And we've all seen this shit. These opinion articles or these tweets from the games media people or from that spreads into the mentalities of their the consumers thinking all this stuff is like just reality. We've all seen this stuff. And to act like it doesn't exist is it's delusion, man. Navy Shadow says if you don't have the big games in there to drive people to it, no one will see the indie games because no one will pay for Ultimate for one day one indies. Yeah, I mean you got to have the Gears, you got to have Fable, State of Decays, you know, like all the shit they got. Persona 6. Like I mean, they have I mean massive day and dates. Halo campaign evolved. I mean, they have more. Xbox has more first party games dropping into Game Pass day and date than PlayStation has in development, probably, bro. Like, I mean, for first party games, like it's insane. Like even this year, Forza Horizon 6 day and date. We're about to get Halo. You know, we're about to get Gears. 2027 right around the corner. You got Fable. Then you're gonna have Clockwork Revolution. You're gonna have State of Decay 3. You know, we got Minecraft Dungeons coming. You got Spyro next year. I mean, you have big third parties like Resonance, uh, Plague Tale Legacy. I mean, it's like it's so much, bro. Day and date, and apparently it doesn't matter. What people say it doesn't matter. It fucking matters to a Game Pass customer. That's for damn sure. Absolutely matters for Game Pass customer. Stranger Than Heaven, yeah, fucking that game looks amazing. You get Tupac and Game Pass, everybody. Let that sing. You got Tupac and fucking Game Pass, day and date. Let's go. California knows how to party. Yeah, the one pint Johnny. Yeah, and like the whole thing where he's like this only made up of cheap wins and like Gears becoming exclusive is a cheap win for them. That nothing is fucking cheap about that decision. I mean, that has strong financial implications. That has strong branding implications. Like everything. That's not a simple decision, you know. Like that is not dropping the price of Game Pass from $29.99 to 22. That's not a that's not a cheap decision. You know, that is those things are not like, oh, this is just going to be an easy win for like the fans. No, that's not. Those are big moves, right? Like bringing back exclusivity and reinforcing that is not a cheap decision, you know? All of that stuff, like just the ridiculousness of it. Now, we'll see, the thing is like the future is not given for any of these platforms, anything. So yeah, like what happens if Xbox we don't Game Pass stops growing, you know? The games don't sell. Yeah, we're gonna continue to have crazy shakeups and crazy decisions being made. You know what I mean? But like, I'm going to promote the things that I think are good, and I'll criticize the things that I think are bad. But I'm not gonna hear him make shit up and spread misinformation for the sake of it, right? Like we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Right now, considerations are being made. Yeah, across the board. We know that tough decisions are coming. We know there's gonna be negative shit, and we'll talk about it when it happens. But we're not gonna act like Xbox is dead because of the same thing that other people also fucking do. We're not gonna talk. We're gonna pretend like this fucking brand can't survive or can't live on because of the same shit that other people fucking did. This stuff's happening everywhere. Stranger Than Heaven will become a strong franchise. All rappers still want to be in the next. I mean, this is gonna be crazy, dude. Now, I threw it out there. Like, what if? Okay, so we got Snoop Dogg and we got Tupac in the game. What if, like, before the showcase or before the game comes out, they announce that Big E's in the game too? That'd be insane if we got Tupac and Biggie in the same game. That would be nuts. That would rattle some trees. That's for damn sure. What's up, Jago? How's it going? Yeah, and I saw like Paul Tassi, I think or was it Paul Tass? No, Derek Strickland, I think is who that one was. But was like Xbox. It had a tweet being like Xbox. It's good that they're being transparent and honest about the rough shape of their business and like being blunt about things about like when Asha asked Matthew Ball if it's fixable, blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's so good. And then later Xbox needs to stop talking. And then later, maybe I was wrong about that. Like, I mean, you're talking about people that are trying to be media putting out all this shit, right? Like, uh, Paul Tassi saying, if this is what the future is, we're cooked, talking in reaction to the misinformation that's being spread about ads, you know? Then you have Tom Henderson going out there saying his only cheap wins so far. I mean, this is just like a fucking hate campaign, man, and they don't even realize it. It's like you have Jeff Grubb and his guest saying that they should be throwing tomatoes at Matthew Ball for something that he was just asked a question about. This is just absolute dog shit, asinine stuff, man. You can't make it up, man. Like this is crazy the campaign that is being waged against Xbox positivity right now, in the sake of, yeah, we know that they're making drastic moves that are going to be negative, but these people are trying to get ahead of it and painting it in this way that it's for the worst for the brand, right? Um, Ignoring when the other companies do the same shit. Chris Coleman says being on Windows machine does nothing for Microsoft. They don't get everybody money just because you use PC. They only make money from the Windows operating system license and selling Microsoft software. Steam gives them money. Yeah, no shit, bro. I mean, it's gonna be interesting seeing going forward, like what's gonna happen with some of the changes they make with Helix in that regard. I think they're looking at stuff like that. You know, these it's like these people are. As I'm telling you, it's like I just wish they'd be honest. And the fact that they don't want Xbox to exist as a platform. Yeah, they need to bring back Killer Instinct, Cleaves. That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing if they brought back Killer Instinct. I mean, they have the IP. It was rumored to have been in the works to bring it back. So we'll see if it happens. I do wonder if Asha Sharma's energy about like underfunding of big franchises would mean more attention to some of the IP that's been dormant as well. That are potential big franchises for them, you know. Thanks, Sith Lord. Appreciate you, bro. In my dirt hat, I have two dachshunds, Sea Lord. I have two little sausage dogs, Harper and Chloe. If they stop barking downstairs and come up here, I can put them on the screen. If One Pint Johnny says, if Xbox goes away, who will PS enjoyers port bag to instead? Well, it got to the point. This is the biggest change that's happened, right? The conversation about Xbox from games media and PlayStation fanboys used to be Xbox has no games, right? Now the conversation is PlayStation deserves Xbox games. Xbox can't succeed without PlayStation having those games. Now it's like, hey, Xbox has the games. Now let's migrate them. Let's like keep emphasizing how much they need PlayStation to survive. The dumbest ass thing I think I saw from Games Media com- coming out was Xbox hurts their relationship with PlayStation by pulling Halo trailer off of the state of play. That was the most asinine shit I think I have seen from anybody out there. Xbox hurting the relationship with PlayStation by not allowing them by pulling Halo off of their state of play. You talking about them taking a game off of their fucking show, whereas they pay for games to be taken off of fucking Xbox all the time. And worried about Xbox hurting their relationship with PlayStation. PlayStation is furious. Sony is furious that Xbox made them take Halo off of their show. Well, so fucking what? They want the Xbox games on fucking PlayStation. They fucking crave them. They salivating. Xbox has the leverage here. They need to realize that. They have those games. They don't have to share them if they don't want to. They don't fucking have to do shit. They don't have to let them do anything. It's not an expectation that should be required of Microsoft, of Xbox. They hurt their fucking relationship. You want her? Come here. Come here, Harper. This is Harper. Hi, say hi. Hello. Is games media stupid? Yes, they are. Games media is so stupid, aren't they? Aren't they? Oh, aren't they? Are they trying to shit on Xbox all the time, Harper? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They're so stupid. Sup, boom? Yeah, no more bullshit, Sadness. No more BS out there. You can see straight through it, man. You can see straight through it. Double Barrel Gaming, Mr. Boomstick says the gaming media is fake concern for the survival of Xbox is a load of horseshit. 100%, Boom. They they don't want Xbox to succeed. They want them to dissolve as a platform and only exist as a multi-platform publisher, bro. They don't want. They just want the games on their PlayStations, dude. They don't want to have to feel the need to buy a fucking Xbox. That's what I've been saying, man. Like everything is slanted. Everything is slanted. You know, they point towards any possible move they're making as a negative constantly, right? It's just it's people eat this shit up. Oh, we got number two. Oh, and this was the crazy one. Oh, it's Chloe. It's Chloe. Does Games Media want Xbox to fail just so they can play their games on PlayStation? Yes, 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 they do. Yes, they do. These dogs think I'm crazy. Yeah, Fuzzy says gaming media focusing on Xbox while Bungie is on live support. Man, you don't think Xbox is the only one waffling and having to restructure and make different decisions? What about PlayStation? Hey, I got an idea. Let's make all of our studios make games as a service games. That's gonna go really fucking well. Yeah, we know only how to do one fucking kind of game because that's what we've trained everybody to kind of focus on. And that's what we also trained our entire audience to think is the most important only thing that should matter. But instead, well, we're not making enough fucking money, so let's just make all these studios make games as a service games. I got an idea. Let's go get Bungie to help. This is going to be a fantastic idea. Let's just run with this. Oh, guess what? We're making a huge games as a service pivot. We have 12 games as a service games in the works at all of our first party studios. We're going to make Horizon into games as service. We're going to make God of War into games as service. Oh, and guess what? We're working on factions too for The Last of Us. All right, everybody, it's going to be all peachy keen, sunshine, and rainbows over here. Oh, shit. You mean we don't know how to make those games? Oh shit, you mean we gotta get more support studios and stuff with people that know how to do that shit? You mean we just can't make a bunch of single player developers know how to all of a sudden make multiplayer games and have games of service content that's ongoing? Oh shit, you mean we actually have to keep supporting these things for years and years and it's gonna be a big cost that we just can't afford to do? Oh fuck. Well, it looks like we'll just cancel this one and that one and that one and that one and that one. Hey, it's all right. Concord is the next Star Wars. That one's going to be fine. We'll go ahead and release that shit. Oh, let's see how it's going to do. Oh, Games Media is going out there saying it's the next best great thing out there. Oh, Games Media is saying how it's going to be the next huge game. All right, let's drop it. Oh, there's only 1,000 people playing this? Oh, shit, there's like only. What the fuck? Oh, guess what? 2 weeks later, let's cancel it. Let's cancel it. Let's move on. Let's pretend like that never happened. Oh, let's cancel more of our games of service games. Oh, let's keep doing that. Oh, let's force everybody to start making the same kind of games we used to make, but only more lighthearted and whimsical. Let's go. Let's have Sony Santa Monica make a fucking God of War game with the magic dancing cube all around it. Let's go. Let's have some fun. Let's do this. Oh, well, in the meantime, we got to put all of our games on PC because we're not making enough money. So we're gonna do that. Oh shit! Xbox is making Helix. You mean there's gonna be a Steam machine and people are gonna be able to buy other machines and play our games on TVs? Oh fuck! I guess we gotta stop doing that now too. Oh, let's just how about this? Let's just stop doing that. Okay, you talk about fucking wiffle waffle bullshit constantly going on. That's all right. Bungie's gonna survive. We got Marathon. It's okay. Bungie's all right. We got Marathon coming. Everything's all fine. All the Destiny shit that we've been doing forever, it doesn't matter. This Marathon's gonna be it. Let's just it's gonna be okay. Oh fuck. Why am I running in place? Because that's what they're fucking doing. They're spinning in circles, doing the same shit, ignoring all of this fucking stuff. Everything is all fun, sunshine and rainbows over here. I, yeah, I hate Jello, Sea Lord. Everything's great, guys. Man, Game Pass sucks. Game Pass is gonna kill the industry. Xbox is failing. Xbox needs more games. Xbox has too many games. Xbox needs PlayStation to survive. Fucking hell. Chris Coleman says PS canceled games at a faster pace while also delivering games at a faster pace too. Name the amount of actual first party studio games released between the years of 2024 and 2026. Talk about faster fucking pace. My ass. My ass. My ass. You know how many first party games Xbox delivered last year? Was it like 12? How about that pace? Getting my steps in, Donnie. What's up, Leonard? How's it going? Yeah, bringing that fucking crazy energy today, guys. I'm just psychotic. Shit. I am working up a sweat, guys. I fucking need to take my hat off in a minute, but then I'll blind you guys with my shiny ass forehead. Toe Tag says he should make Elder Scrolls exclusive. We'll see how much they're wanting to do, man. It's going to be one we're going to keep our eyes on. That's going to be a very interesting one. Choo choo, motherfuckers. Def Leopard says. Yep, choo choo, motherfuckers. I'm calling out the bullshit today. Today's a bullshit call out fun day. Let's have some fun with it. Oh, here we go. I don't count. the games from the acquired studios, do you account Insomniac's games over on PlayStation Portal? I'm just curious. Is that one you count, or do you not count it because they were acquired? I'm just curious. What rules are we playing? Do you count Bungie games? They were acquired. Are we counting those? Are we counting those? Are we counting the PlayStation Studios games that were acquired in this math? Are, are we count? Which ones are we counting here, bro? Which ones are we counting? Do they own too much for you? Is that the problem? Is it less organic? Is it less organic? Is it not organic enough for you? You only like organic bullshit? Shizno reminding us, yes, Naughty Dog was acquired as well as Sucker Punch. Let's not put accurate factual information out there, Shizno. Let's not put like factual information that's going to be a detriment to the anti Xbox narrative, right? That would be counterintuitive to their agenda. Let's not do that, right? BS Gamer says, "Don't worry, they'll be closing a few soon." Are you talking about Xbox or PlayStation? Because you're probably talking about both. PlayStation has shuttered several development studios in recent years, including major closures like Bluepoint Games in early 2026, London Studio in 2024, and Pixel Opus in 2023. These cuts are part of restructuring efforts by Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to a rising development cost and pivot away from certain live service and mobile titles. The key PlayStation Studio closures and operational shifts from recent years include Bluepoint Games, Dark Outlaw Games, London Studio, Neon Koi, Pixel Opus, and Japan Studio. That's just me shaking up your bullshit narrative, bro. Why are people so stupid today? Because they don't like when people go out and actually point out the thing that's actually happening, Papa. They don't like when we call out the BS that's actually happening out there. They only want to talk about the negative on one side because that's the only place it exists for them. There is no negative in their world when it revolves around their favorite brand. There's no negative in there. Don't forget. Oh, sorry, I forgot about Firewalk. Forgot about a Firewalk tree. There's no negative for them in that world. Like I said, everything's great. We're just moving along. It's what's best for PlayStation. Yeah, let's just keep going. Ride this momentum. It's okay. We didn't need those studios. It's okay. We don't care about those games. It's okay. The games of service didn't work out. They're just getting back to what we love. It's okay. They don't need to put games on PC. They're focusing on the core. Let's go. That's what we like. PlayStation's all good. Nothing bad is happening. There might be restructuring because there's issues going on with the finances. The CEO might have taken over after Jim Ryan got pretty much fired, and the first thing he said is, "We suck at business." That might have happened. Doesn't matter. We're only going to focus on Xbox when they say it. Everything's good here. Let's just keep marching down the road of glory of PlayStation. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah, baby. We do no wrong. Everything's right. I'm going to shit on Xbox out of spite. Yeah, it's a marathon. It's a marathon, guys. Um, Everything's fine. Everything is going fine. Everything is awesome. When you're part of the PlayStation team, everything is awesome. Don't go green. Everything is awesome. We don't like Game Pass. It's not good for the industry. Everything is awesome. I hope they charge me more for my games. Yeah, yeah. Let's not talk about game cancellations on the blue team. We can't do that. Let's not do that. Let's talk about restructuring of Xbox, consolidation of Xbox. Let's talk about uh, them shifting into being potentially spinning off into a subsidiary of Microsoft and Xbox, game of Microsoft, and becoming their own thing. Let's talk about how that's a negative. Let's talk about how uh, they needed PlayStation to survive. Let's talk about all that stuff. Yeah. Thanks, Brothers Grimm. That sounds like a copyright song. It might be. I mean, you can't make this shit up, man. Everything's great when PlayStation does it, but man, Xbox is doing it. Fuck, guys. I mean, we're all in trouble. Trouble. It's trombone simulator time. I hope you guys are having fun. I'm having fun today. Does Steam Machine have a price yet? I don't know. Probably expensive. Probably expensive. What did you walk into, Psycho? I'm doing the PlayStation March of Pride. We're all happy in Sunshine and Rainbows Land. Nothing bad happens here. Everything is for the good. That's what we're doing. Marching along. Just marching along. It is wow, how long have I been live? It's been almost 3 hours. You're having a blast, RSJ? Awesome. Portal says this is fun. Hey, I'm glad you guys are having a fun. Brothers Grimm tells great fun. The show is always awesome. You guys rock. One Pine Johnny said, P.S. remade Warhawk and into a live service, I'd be all over that shit. Why aren't they making like what? Why did when they were looking at making games as service games, were they looking at God of War and Horizon and all that? Why weren't they looking at shit like SOCOM and like you said, Warhawk and stuff like that? Man, like they have shit out there that they could have done great things with. The factions, they could have just had it released and then grown it into something big. They just fucking Stupid, man. Eastside Vandal says, it's a new dance called the Pony Prance and Cope. All the kids are doing it these days. Come on. Do the Pony Prance and Cope. Do the Pony Prance and Cope. Because when you play on PlayStation, you know that there is hope. If they shut down studios, it doesn't even matter. I think we should all play on PlayStation and be happier. It's the PlayStation dance of what was it called again? Something in Cope. I forgot. Fuck. Sup, Umbra? What's wrong, Lance? What's up, Dave? Lance is sad. I should have invited you to sing. I can sing, Umbra. You don't like my singing voice, bro? Oh, it's the Pony Prance and Cope, where there's only hope if you're on PlayStation. 'Cause green is bad, but-do, and blue is good, what-do. Come and dance with me in this everlasting mediocrity. Pony Prance and Cope. um you thought for a second that was me sobbing? Have y'all ever had do y'all have HEB near you guys? You should really try these dark chocolate peanut butter cups. Really good. Nobody is talking about all the money Nintendo just wasted on their Power World lawsuit they're about to lose. Man. Yep. They tried to didn't they try to like trademark balls or something like that? Then like Nintendo tried to trademark balls, like throwing balls. Yeah, supposedly like they're gonna get like a little bit, but it's like a huge waste or something. I hope that like this sets a horrible precedent when you like try and like trademark and like copyright like or patent is what the right word. Sorry, patent like game mechanics like that, like something simple. Like they tried to like patent summons and like capturing monsters and shit. Like they weren't even the first ones to fucking do that shit. And they're still trying to patent it. Insane. Nintendo gonna get like 30K, you think, Shizno? Damn. Well, good thing. I'm sure the Game Pass deal that they landed with Power World more than makes up for that. Nintendo's doing fantastic as a business. Yeah, they're killing it as a business. Um, they spent like 40 million on the suit. Oof, it's crazy. Well, chat, this has been fun. Going on the 3 hour mark almost. Thank you all for being here. If you didn't catch the earlier part of the show where I was actually calling out all the contradictions out there and all that stuff, I recommend going and checking that out. Um, but just thank you all for having fun with me this early afternoon today on Saturday. I hope you have a fantastic night tonight. I'm going to be playing some 007 First Light later, and I'm looking forward to that and having some fun. But you never know. Like as I told you guys, I'm going to be trying to go live more and stuff. So stay tuned. Maybe there'll be a stream tomorrow as well. Depends on what I see on Twitter that stirs me up into a craze of dumbassness that wants to go live and talk shit. Maybe I'll get that energy. You know, long ass rant today. Yeah. But you guys rock. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. I hope you have a fucking awesome one and take it easy. We'll be back. Absolutely. Peace.